Okay, so it's been a little while since we did the JSPs in class, so I thought I'd go over them again. This is the presentation that I was using, that I did in lesson, just the slides that are relevant. So I'm going to quickly go through this, and then we'll look at the Doctor Who prototype that I did, the second one, and I'll map it out and I'll show you sort of how I do it for mine. Okay, so there's a little bit about it here. Basically, what you do is you have three different types of boxes. You have these square ones here, which are the normal ones. You've got these ones here, which have a little circle in the corner, and you've got ones that have like a star or an asterisk in the corner usually. And it's about, they do different things. If we go to this next section here, the normal ones are called a sequence because they are things that just happen by themselves, which is this one here. So if we go for, let's just move this. So sequences just happen on their own. So if we had a basic program like Hello World just prints Hello World to the screen and finishes, and that's all it does really. So there's no interaction from the user, it just happens by itself. Okay, so this next section here, these are selections. It's like an option, and this is where there's different options in what the program does next, and quite often in our case it's waiting for interaction from the user. So I'm not going to go through this example because I think this confused people a little bit at the time, so I'll go through it in a second anyway. And the last one here, which is something you may or may not use in your in your JSPs for the projects, is an iteration, and that's to do with loops. Now I don't want to go into loops too heavily because it's something that you'll do next year a lot anyway, and getting that sort of idea across is not completely relevant to your project, but it's basically a loop, which is you'll keep going around it a certain amount of times, or while something is something. And so basically in this example here, which again is not the best example because it's from a human's perspective, and we need to be thinking logically because programs don't think as humans. But basically this is in this example where I am a human, I am constantly going around this loop here. So I'm staring at the machine and thinking, and staring at the machine and thinking, and I'm going to go around it, forever until think equals true. So that's the idea behind that. So I'll keep going around this until I've decided what I want. That's an example of what you can do. But like I said, this might make it into your projects, and it'd be really cool to see. But also, I wouldn't worry about that too much. It's mainly the first two that I'll be looking for. So if we go back to where's it gone? So we've got, this is my second Doctor Who prototype that I've got here. So just to quickly show you, I open it up. There we go. It loads up the page, and we've got a little animation there. And I've got two options. I've got this button here, and I've got this play button here. Just that. Go. So so it's dead basic at the moment. It's just 3 pages essentially. So if we go back to the JSP for this then, so first of all I'm going to be doing a title, what is the program? So that's my Doctor Who app there, and then basically I start the program on the home page. That's where I'm starting. When I sort of boot it up, that's where I start. So if we just open this again, we can have a look at what actually happens when this starts. So if I press the play button, so it's loaded up the page, then it's doing an animation. Now it's finished the animation. Now it's stopped. It's not doing anything now. It's finished. This will, stay like this forever until I do something. So that'll be the first step for our JSP. So if we go over to our JSP, which is this one here. So we've got our first section so once we open it, homepage, the first thing it's going to do is display homepage and run home animation, and then it stops. Yeah, so again, these are all the standard sequences. They're just the normal squares, so these just happen by themselves. So we've got homepage, display homepage, run home animation. Now it stopped. We've got to the end of the line here. Yeah. So then what? So if we go back to our presentation here, we've got two options. We've got three options. One option is not pressing anything. One option is pressing this menu button here, and one option is pressing this menu button, this play button here. Sorry. So those are my two options. Yeah, or I could just wait at this screen forever. So if we go to our PowerPoint again, we go to the next one here. So we've got two options. Yeah. So this happens. So we open the app, we open the home page. It displays the home page, and it runs the animation. So don't forget that the JSPs go top to bottom, left to right. So it's going down this side first, and now it's gone back up to here, and it stopped because it can't go any further because these are both options. So it's going to stop and wait for either go this way or this way. Like I said, there's two options. Yeah, there's the menu option and the play option, and those are the only two options that we've got. So it goes, when we start it up, we start the home page. It's going to display the home page. It's going to run the home page animation. Then it's going to get to this section here, where it's either going to go this way or this way. Okay, so let's go back to this here again. We'll have a look at the menu, which is this button here. So if we click this menu, what happens? When I click it, we've got a transition that happens there, and then it displays the menu page. Which again, I didn't spend a lot of time on this, so it's a bit basic. But and the only option that I've got left, I can't click anything else. I can't click the sign out. Can't do anything apart from clicking this menu button. So that's my only option apart from staying on this page forever. So if we go then to this section here, we go. Here's our menu button. So that's an option, but if I click on it, it's going to automatically display the transition, and then it's going to automatically display the menu bar or the menu page, whatever you want to call it. If it was an app for real, it'd probably just be a bar that comes up, but obviously in my PowerPoint it's a whole different page, but that's up to you how you phrase it. You can either sort of do this as a JSP of what you currently have or what you would like to have in the future, or a combination of the two, or both, depending on what you want to do with it. So I just want to see that you can sort of understand this and map it to your project. Okay, so anyway, going back to this, so you press the menu button, it automatically displays the transition, it automatically displays the menu bar, and then it stops, doesn't it? It waits. We've got the option of staying there forever, or we've got the option of returning to home. Yeah, so if we click on this now, oops, that's not it. We click on this now, we go to page 2, open it, we click this to go back to the home screen again. Yeah, so if we're on this, so return to home, then we go to the home page, then it does this one again, these two, that one, then it stops here. Okay, so we're going to quickly run through the play button now, so that's the other option. So I open this now, and does that. If I press play, okay, so I may have said this a couple of times already, but I can't have landscape and portrait in the same file, so I've got to create a new file that's landscape for my play. My play page here. So what it looks like, it sort of goes from one to the other, but actually what it does is it's opening and loading a different file and then displaying the page. Yeah, so it's going to open the file, display the file, this page here. Yeah, so when we go back to our where it's down here, so we press the play button again, that's an option. So it's going to open the secondary PowerPoint. Okay, so I've just changed the name a little bit on this one. So we've got the second set here. So we're opening the secondary PowerPoint, we're loading it, and then we're displaying it. Yeah, and again, we've got the two options once we complete that, and we've got either stay at that forever, or you've got the option of returning home and starting all over again. Okay, so hopefully that sort of shows you sort of the logical processes of how this thing is going to work. I've only got a couple of pages, so mine's quite small. What you can do is you can do like a massive one, or you can do a small one for each page. It's up to you really, but you want to be showing, this is as a significant chunk of the project. So make sure you spend some time on it and see what you can do with. Like I said, you can either do it as what your project is now through PowerPoint, or what you want it to be, or you could do both, do one of each, just to show you that where it is now and what you'd want to happen. But things like animations, transitions, and audio and things like that, that's what you want to be putting in here when you're saying how things are working. You don't have to do a JSP of your entire project. You just got to do a couple of pages to show that you know this. Okay.